everyone, James here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video today. So, in this video, we're gonna be talking about the Duelist Cup that's coming up tomorrow. It's coming up tomorrow's the 9th. I'm making this video on the 8th. So we're just gonna be talking about the decks that we're mostly gonna see. We're gonna be building decks that can actually help you get through the Duelist Cup, stuff like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and start with the elephant in the room, Draco Tail. Draco Tail literally just, I think, just a deck that we're gonna see a lot, and they're just different variants. Draco Tail, branded Draco Tail, Dragon Maid. Just like I said, just a variety of Draco Tail decks that you can definitely gonna see. But in the end, it doesn't matter. You're always gonna end on this, and I always rely on the magic and trap card. This deck is really strong. It's really strong. I admit that. I didn't think it was that good, but actually watching a lot of people play it, especially this card, if they play this card, it's definitely a floodgate card. It's definitely something that we have to look out for. But at the end of the day, I've said this before. In the Duelist Cup, if they do use this as a floodgate card, they means they probably need to ban this card. So honestly, I hope they don't do it for the state of the game. Let it be fun to Duelist Cup, but if they do it, then I'm pretty sure Sanctifier is probably going to get banned. They're not going to ban this card because Blue Eyes White Dragons need this. They need this. They'll probably end up banning Sanctifier if this is trouble throughout the Duelist Cup. If someone takes this like branded deck, well, not branded, it's some Draco Tail branded deck, and use these two floodgates honestly to sit there and get to number one, then yeah, I'm pretty sure Sanctifier is going to get banned. But that's not the case. We're not here to see that. I didn't mean to click on that. Well. So Draco Tail is definitely a deck that we're just gonna see a lot. I felt like this Duelist Cup was like gonna be really good. I didn't want to see right there. I want to see the I want to play as well, we can watch this. I want to see I thought Draco Tail, I want to make a video talking about how good the Duelist Cup is gonna be, because there's so many diversities, but then you can see Draco Tail is just a really strong deck in general. And the crazy part about it is that it can sit there and just like fusion summon on your turn. That's one thing about it, which is crazy, especially during the main phase. Like the cards in the graveyard, it didn't have to be during anybody main phase, just during the main phase. You can discard a card, fusion summon. Then you have this. I believe in this Duelist Cup, you have to run Infinite Permanence, you have to run Effect Veiler. Like you have to run one of those two cards, but it's hard to play with Infinite Permanence because of you have a card on the field. They're gonna sit there and let you play a card, then I'll sit there and use this. So I can't use Infinite Permanence. I can't use Effect Veiler because it is my turn. And it's just like Draco Tail it's just difficult, man. Like honestly, I mean, more than anything else, if they play Ash Blossom, Max C, they can just bring it back and then you still trouble. So I mean, it's definitely Draco Tail is definitely a tough deck. Like just how it is. And I think we're really gonna see that a lot. I think it's fair. I think it's more manageable to deal with than Malice, that's for sure. But we're gonna talk about decks that you can definitely take to the Duelist Cup, and actually you can sit there and use to sit there and counter Draco Tail. That's gonna help you against it. It's not unbeatable, that's for sure. Like I said, it's more manageable to deal with than Ash Blossom, that's for sure. I mean, not Ash Blossom. It's more manageable to deal with than Malice, that's for sure. I feel like a lot of people will like it, which is okay, but you know, we're just gonna see the exactly same thing. Draco Tail, return 2 cards back to hand, bring back Ash Blossom, and then everything activates. 5 chains in the graveyard, man. 5 chains in the graveyard. Like that's just how crazy this deck is. Return all monsters back, and you add Ash Blossom back to hand. So I mean, like I said, it's a really difficult deck, honestly. But but at the same time, it's not a deck we just like, okay, I see Draco Tail scoop. It does have weaknesses, that's for sure. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna look at cards to counter Draco Tail. So Draco Tail is definitely the number one deck that we're gonna see. Actually, this plays right into what I want to talk about. Kashtira. Kashtira might be played a lot in the Duelist Cup. You might see a lot of Kashtira because of Draco Tail. Draco Tail does not work unless you banish all the cards. Kashtira does that. Now, With that being said, you know, if they have that card that allows them to fusion summon during the main phase, like honestly, at the end of the day, they can sit there and feel like they like if I summon Unicorn, then it activates effect, summon it, and they can bring back Unicorn and then return it to my hand, and that's pretty tough, hard to do. But Draco Tail definitely does not like their cards to be banished. Honest, at the end of the day, let's see how Cashier goes against Draco Tail. We're gonna check it out right quick. Cashier is definitely a deck I think we're gonna see a lot in the Duelist Cup. I thought about running Cashier myself in the Duelist Cup. I wanted to run Art Mage, but I really thought like, you know what, to really go to stage 2, I probably just need to run Cashier. Oh, Charming. Okay, you got to activate your Ash. Yeah, Cashier is probably going to be the go-to deck versus I feel like Cashier definitely gonna be. I feel like Cashier is definitely a go-to deck. If you can get a Rise Heart out, then yeah, I feel like you're pretty good. But other than that, like, he banish your face down. Damn. But I think honestly, you have to get a Rise Heart out. You have to go full combo, honestly, with Cashier. You have to get a Rise Heart out. That's feel like that's the only way to do it. But also, like I said, they got honestly at the end of the day, it's just really tough, man. And just this is pretty much a GG. Nothing he can do. That's just how good Draco Tail is at the end of the day. Banish cards, draw cards, whatever the case may be. I feel like there's a bad Cashier deck anyway, honestly. Cashier build, honestly. But yeah, like Draco Tail is just tough, man. Honestly, it really is. It's a really strong deck to go. It's a really strong deck to go against. I don't know what type of Cashier deck he's running. Like, I don't like the Winged Dragonrod Spirit Mode. I want more Cashier cards in there, like everything else. I usually I run these at 2. You know, you got Heavy Storm, Hyphy Fair Dust. I mean, you only need 1. Then, you know, it has Super Poly, 3 Super Polys, all these traps. I mean, like, you know, you need another Ghost Bell Morning and stuff like that. Like I said, it's just his build, whatever the case may be. But like I said, Draco Tail is definitely a top tier deck that you're definitely gonna see a lot. For me personally, I'm gonna be running Art Mage. Hopefully I can perform good. It does lose to Droll Lockbird, that's for sure. Droll Lockbird killed this deck. If a lot of people are interested in running Art Mage, you can, but I promise you, if you get Droll Lockbird, you just might as well scoop because it's just hard to do anything. Droll Lockbird, Nib kills you. Like, it's a fun deck. We're still missing 2 support cards. I love this deck, but honestly and truthfully, Droll Lockbird really hurts this deck, and also Nib hurts this deck as well. Like, it's a fun deck once you pop off and get everything going. But if you get Droll and Lockbird, like, you might as well just call it, you might as well just end your turn because this whole deck evolves around you adding cards to your hand and then special summon. So if you can't sit there and add cards to your hand, you're pretty much in a tough spot. So Art Mage is a fun deck. Odeon is also the man with the marked eye. It's also a good deck. A lot of people are having fun with it. A lot of people are playing Primite with it. So it's definitely a good road deck. It's definitely something you'll see in the Duelist Cup. I don't know too many different deck types people are playing with it. I don't know if they're playing like Mitsurugi with this or not, but a lot of people just finding different ways to play the man with the mark eye. Like, you need 3 of these. I'll let you know that now. Then you need 2 of these, but 3 of these definitely need in your deck. But there's so many crazy different ways you can do it, especially with the counter traps and everything else. It's definitely a good road deck that can catch you off balance if you're not prepared for it. People still summon this. I mean, this is okay against Draco Tail, but if it's Draco Tail versus Draco Tail, whoever gets this out first pretty much gonna win. But you need Super Poly. So if you did pull this in your pack openings, keep it and add Super Poly to your deck. This will actually come in handy against Draco Tail. So I say keep this and run Super Poly in your deck. because this is what you need to help stop Draco Tail. Because Draco Tail is Dragon Spellcaster. Dragon Spellcaster. This shuts it down, and you can take their monsters off the field and make this himself. So that's what you can do. Like I said, that just Draco Tail probably gonna be tier 1 when we see it. Um, so Draco Tail branded, Draco Tail, Dragon Maid, that's for different variety, but kind of end up doing the same thing. Now, if you're gonna get Draco Tail Dragon Maid, yeah, you don't want to banish because that's what Dragon Maid is fine, but I just feel like that's definitely gonna be something we're gonna see a lot. I think White Forest, not this pack. Well, you can look at this pack. I think gonna see White Forest. Retaliating Sea pretty much shuts down White Forest. Definitely if they play where is it at? That's Saint Azamina. What's the card I'm looking for? This one. If you play this and your opponent has Retaliating Sea, you pretty much gonna scoop because it pretty much shuts his deck down. Retaliating Sea is gonna get played a lot in a DC, so might as well just look out for that. I still need to build my White Forest deck. So definitely see White Forest. I think we're gonna see Labyrinth. I think Lab is gonna get played a lot. It's very underrated. But still, you know, it's still a good deck. Just don't underestimate Lab. You will definitely see Lab, I think, in a DC. Elder Lich, I don't think we want to see a lot of Elder Lich. Like I said, it's not a top tier deck. It's an annoying deck, but it's not a top tier deck. More than anything else, like I said, it's just a good road deck that's annoying and persistent. So you look at that also. So like I said, everything else, like we see those type of cards in the game, but what else could we see? We definitely gonna see Sky Striker. Sky Striker definitely gonna get played in the Duelist Cup. Sky Striker is a good deck, especially if you know how to pilot it. So I definitely won't be surprised if I run into some Sky Striker and literally have to go against it. Cause like I said, it's a really good deck. You know, especially this magic card, you know, shuffle cards on the field back to the deck in the hand. So Sky Striker is definitely a deck that you definitely will see in the Duelist Cup tomorrow. I'm recording this on the 8th, and it takes a while to upload because I'm streaming live. So when this goes up, it'll be the 9th. So today I'm recording this on the 8th, and then tomorrow's the 9th. So basically, that's when the video is gonna go up. Sky Striker definitely that. Sky Striker and Tenpai is definitely another deck that we're probably gonna see also. I just know that's probably what we're gonna see. And I want to say, if you're going against an opponent that wins the coin toss and they tell you to go second, it's Tenpai. More than likely it's Tenpai. So you should always keep that in mind. That is they win the coin toss and say, hey, you can go second. More than likely going against Tenpai. Tenpai Sky Striker is a thing also. Tenpai, Sky Striker Runic is also something you can look at, but I don't know if that's any good or not. Ooh, sorry. That's definitely something you can look at. And also Stun. The Morganite cards did come to you get Master Duel. Stun, you're gonna see this a lot as well. I mean, honestly, that's just what it is. Stun, stun, stun. You're gonna see a lot of stun. If you see any of these Morganite cards, these two, it's stun. Hands down, it's stun. It's Vanity's Ruler, Vanity's Fiend, Majesty Fiend. Need to play activate monster effects. I mean, like honestly, like you could sit there, play this magic card, normal summon this. If your opponent doesn't sit there and activate Draco Tail in the hand, then what you gonna do? Need to play activate monster effects. So you can activate the Draco Tail monster they special summon. You can activate it in the graveyard. So I mean, like, disgusting. Honestly, disgusting. So definitely gonna sit there and still look at that. Other decks we could possibly see is definitely see Blue Eyes White Dragon. Y'all gonna see Blue Eyes top tier deck. More than anything else. What else am I gonna say? It's just Blue Eyes. We all seen Primite Blue Eyes. We all had to deal with it. I mean, it is what it is. We know it's coming. It's always gonna pop up in there and stuff like that. And that's why I was saying talking about Fake Baylor can work against Draco Tail. But the problem is it's during your opponent's main phase. So if you go first and activate Draco Tail monster, like they wait till you play a card. You can't play Infinite Permanence because you can't have any cards on the field. Then if you sit there and play Fake Baylor, you can't because only doing that turn. I think if your opponent controls a card, which they don't, and you got to activate this card from your hand, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just really hard to deal with, like honestly, with Draco Tail. So I feel like honestly, at the end of the day, the only thing that really to beat Draco Tail is like you have to be able to bend. You have to play Shifter, you know, stuff like that also. But we'll talk about that later. The next deck we'll also look at is Equip Twins. Ryzeal. Ryzeal is still good if you don't get hit by Joel and Lockbird. Um, Ryzeal Mitsurugi is still up there, so you definitely have to look at it. You know, see right here, Retaliating C. Dododo also makes Ryzeal a really good deck. But like I said, with Ryzeal, the issue is just Joel and Lockbird. That's all you have to have. Just Joel and lock them, and it's just pretty much they scoop because really not too much they can do. So Joel and Lockbird really shuts down Ryzeal Mitsurugi. But honestly, at the end of the day, like Ryzeal Mitsurugi is still gonna be there. It's still gonna be a top tier deck. I mean, you're still gonna see it. Um, so definitely expect to see Ryzeal. The other thing we can look at also is Orcus. Orcus Mitsurugi, Orcus Fiendsmith, just plain Orcus. Orcus is a very good deck. It really is, especially like when you get the combo going. You know, like I said, I built an Orcus deck. I played in the last event, not the XYZ, but the dice roll event. I used Orcus, and I literally won like 8 straight. I have a video on that. It's on my live video. It's I won't say live, but it's an upload I have. Look at it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. You'll see this one because I have this in Royal. So you see the picture of this, and this is what I'm talking about. Just go back and watch that video, and you will literally see how I dominated with Orcus. Because we got the field spell on there, plus you got this, it's disgusting. Like all your Orcus cards, quick effects turn into quick effects, as long as you got the field spell on there. So definitely Orcus is definitely something you're gonna see in the Duelist Cup. It's definitely a good deck. You know, it's definitely a very strong deck, especially with Fiendsmith. We got little Bestials as well. So like I said, Orcus is definitely a really good deck you can look at. So you definitely gonna see a lot of Orcus as well. And then the other deck we can look at is Branded. Of course, we're gonna see Branded. You know, not running Drago Tail, we're gonna see Branded. Branded's always a high skill ceiling deck. You're always gonna see Branded no matter what. It's really persistent, really annoying. And I'm curious to know that so right now you get Master Duel have that friendship code or whatever thing it is. I wanna sit there and name. I don't know the name of it, but they have that friendship code. Let's see if I can find it. Cause I know it's about to end, and I know it's about to end after a while. Forbidden List dual trial. I don't care about dual trials. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I passed it. Yeah. So the Rookie in Return meets your fall campaign. So it's going to end January 7th. That's where you get like the you know, literally like branded deck and everything else like that. It's supposed to end on the 7th. I'm curious to know, once that ends, are they gonna hit Branded? Like, I wonder if they're gonna hit the Bishop card, because Malice is another deck we ain't got to yet. But Malice is a deck that uses Branded's Bishop cards, and I feel like they probably won't hit Bishops because they're limited for the rookie campaign because of Branded. I wonder if they're gonna actually hit Branded once that campaign ends, which is very interesting. So the other deck we're gonna see is Lunalight Dancer. Lunalight is like, I want to sit there and say Lunalight does have his towers, which is very annoying and hard to deal with. They're finding a good deck, so we can sit there and see how they go against White Forest. Lunalight is definitely I won't say top tier, but it's definitely a good deck. Especially when it gets to 2 towers on the field, it's really hard to beat them unless you summon something with over 3,800 attack points, which is really hard to do. It's not easy to summon anything with over 2,800 attack points. Like literally, and it's unaffected by activated card effects. Like, it's just really hard to deal with. Unaffected by card effects, except Lunalight cards can make a second attack during each battle phase. You can send one Lunalight monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. I mean, you can't negate that. Like, it's just really hard to deal with. And you see also how Mo Charming Max C just shut down White Forest. You know, he had Joe and Lockbird. But you literally can sit there and see at the end of the day, just like, White Forest is a good deck, but Joel and Lockbird, Mo Charmy, Maxi just really shuts that deck down because it's just a turbo deck. And honestly, like I said, I love White Forest, but honestly, I just sit there and think like it's a good deck, but it gets hit really hard. Honestly, at the end of the day, like with Joel and Lockbird, Retaliating C, it's just hard to deal. It's just hard to beat and hard to deal with, honestly. But you can sit there and see at the end of the day. Like I said, Lunalight is a deck. Look at it, I told you. So basically, this is what Lunalight does. This is something you're probably gonna see in Duelist Cup. Like, once they got these 2 towers on here and they can attack, I think he used the XYZ monster to Skip your next battle. Skip the battle phase next turn. Also, double attack with one monster you control until the end of his turn. So he's special one. Oh, okay. He used this one during main phase. Special one monster from graveyard to fifth position. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They can attack Spike. So now you're about to see why. I mean, that's just Luna Light at the end of the day. That's just something you're gonna see. It's a, I won't say it's a first turn. It's a gold second deck, just like Tenpai, just like Ancient Gear. This is a gold second deck, and just like that's just what you're gonna see in the Duelist Cup. So definitely be on the lookout for Luna Light. I think Luna Light's definitely gonna get played a lot in the Duelist Cup. Also, Utopia Zexal. A lot of people don't see this deck card a lot, but I definitely think we will see it. It's a really good deck. Drytron, that's weird. It's a really good deck, honestly, to play. Especially when it pops off. Like we can sit there and check this one out, see if he has any good replays. But yeah, we definitely gonna see that in the Duelist Cup. I think this Duelist Cup is actually really good. There's more diversity in this Duelist Cup than last Duelist Cup. Last Duelist Cup it was nothing but Malice. That's all you're gonna see. I didn't even play in the last Duelist Cup. I just didn't want to be bothered by it. I didn't want to sit there and just play the game and just like, okay, I'm gonna see Malice over and over and over and over again. I didn't want to deal with that, and I actually skipped the last Duelist Cup. I think a lot of people did. You can just go back and look at it. Before Malice was hit, like when Malice did not get hit on the ban list, you literally sit there and see people say they did not play the Duelist Cup because of Malice, and a lot of people quit playing the game. Everything else. So I think this Duelist Cup is definitely gonna be a lot better. I think a lot of people like to deal with Draco Tail. They think Draco Tail is fair, even though it's like really complicated. But other than that, they really like Draco Tail. It's not as bad as Malice. But other than that, like, I feel like it's still like, I feel like this Duelist Cup is gonna be really good, really fun, really diverse. You don't know what you're gonna see a lot. Yeah, you're gonna see Draco Tail here and there, but you also gonna see what I just showed you. You're also gonna see Luna Light. You're also gonna see this and that. So it's just like I said, at the end of the day, it's more diverse in this Duelist Cup, honestly, at the end of the day. So seeing them going to Designator, Detonator, everything else. Like I say, just gonna see Ryzel. See what the opponent does. Troll and Lockbird. Try that one, summon that one. Pretty much GG. And that's what I'm talking about more than anything else. But like I said, Ryzel is still a top tier deck. And you just see it. Ryzel's a top tier deck, regardless of it, Mitsurugi or not. It's still Ryzel can still play good, and you just see how good of a deck it is. So yeah, you know, you look at it. Tenpai is definitely another deck we're gonna see. Like I said, I talked about earlier. Tenpai Sky Striker is something you're gonna see. Everything else. I said before, if they win a coin toss and they tell you go second, it's probably gonna be Tenpai. More than likely, it's gonna be Tenpai. So definitely always look out for that. Who go first, second? The man with the marked eye, like I said, that's a different variety of ways to build this deck. A lot of people running different variety of ways and stuff like that. But Tenpai, I mean, the man with the marked eye can be a fun deck. I don't know if it's actually any good, honestly. We can check this out and see. I don't think he's probably gonna win this duel, but we can see the man at the mark. Like I said, there's a variety of ways you can play with it. People are playing the man at the mark with Tenpai. So you look at that, well, not Tenpai, sorry, with Primite. You can look at stuff like that. So like I said, it's just a lot of different ways. Sorry, I had to answer a text message. But yeah, that's like Lily. You can sit there and see. We'll see how this goes. The man with the marked eye, he's going second. I think the man with the marked eye just like I think it's called like Trap Tricks. Like Trap Tricks is good going first, but it sucks going second. I feel like that's how the man at the mark is like. Going Utopia Sage. I never been a big Utopia fan. Like Utopia never it was something that never interests me honestly. Like I know they had different variety of Utopia decks and stuff like that, but it just never like Utopia never just like honestly interested me at all. I'm pretty sure it's a fun deck and all if you play it, that's nice. But for me, it's like whatever. Honestly, at the end of the day. But yeah, you can just see hand traps are important. You can see why hand traps are important. Without any hand traps, you can just see how crazy somebody. You can just see how crazy people can go without hand traps, which is utterly ridiculous. So you definitely have to run hand traps in this game. This is the first turn. They do attack points already what? 95,000. This is the first turn, like honestly, which is crazy. What the heck? The heck just happened? Oh, when a number of material on this card becomes 10, you win the duel. Oh shit, that's why he did it. Well, I never seen a lot of ghost tricks, honestly. Like I wouldn't even think like that caught me off guard. Like I said, I never seen a lot of ghost tricks. Holy shit, that's not bad, man. Honestly, that is crazy. Had 10 materials. He had at least transferred. He had 10 materials on his card and he wanted to duel. I never seen that animation before. That is crazy. Damn, dude never even got a chance to play. Holy crap. That's why you need hand traps. If y'all want to see that deck, hold on, which one was it? I want to see that deck. Honestly, I can show y'all. I'm pretty sure people are probably interested in that. Yeah, that's a deck list. Honestly, that is crazy. I never thought somebody used Razil like that, but yeah. So yeah, that's a deck list. Y'all just want to use it for yourself in a duelist cup. That is crazy. Whoever this person is, man, that's a good deck, honestly. If you ever see the video, definitely hats off to you, man. That was actually nice, honestly. That was really nice. So yeah, like I said, we see cards like that. That's basically what most we're gonna see in a duelist cup. Also gonna see Dragon Maid. We definitely gonna see that. I mean, that's just obvious. We're gonna see Dragon Maid. Even without Draco Tail, Dragon Maid was still a fun deck. A lot of people enjoy playing it. Thanks to the new fusion, yeah, Draco Tail Dragon Maid. Thanks to the new fusion card, which is this. You know, this card special something special one level 4 Dragon Maid monster from your deck and stuff like that. I don't think they even run yeah. So we can check this. We can check this one out and see. I'm gonna make sure this the right one we just looked at. Yeah, it was okay. So yeah, you know, Dragon Maid, Draco Tail, we can check that out as well. Like I said, it's just I like this duelist cup because there's definitely gonna be a lot of diversity in this one, and I'm definitely excited about it. I can't wait to just, you know, every duel I have, will I see probably Draco Tail? Yeah, but I'll probably see other decks as well instead of just one deck over and over again. So I'm definitely excited to see. I'm definitely excited about this duelist cup as well. So they got nothing to do actually. One Ash Blossom killed him. I don't know. Oh, I guess he waiting for no. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, this is crazy more than anything else. So long as he special summoning, they gonna sit there and yeah, he just adding cards for Draco Tail summoning. Man, Max C, I like Max C, but Jesus Christ, man, it's like I can definitely see why people wanted to. Well, I definitely see why people wanted to go to one or ban outright. I can definitely see. Like you stop your opponent on the first turn. Well, you stop your opponent, then they're like, okay, I activate Max C. Yeah, see exactly what we're gonna do again. Summon that one, then return those back to the hand. Then he can add Effect Beta right back. And it's turn. What can you do about that? Like, honestly. I use Effect Baylor, then I'm gonna bring back Effect Baylor and then use it again. So I mean, like, that's crazy. That's just how good Draco Tail is. So it's just something you just gonna have to deal with. They can sit there and activate it, send it to a graveyard, and then sit there and add it back to the hand by fusion or something. Like, the only way to really hurt this deck is you have to play Shifter, or you have to play DD Crow, or something like that, or you have to play Skullmeister. Like I said, you just have to play a lot of variety of decks to sit there and counter Draco Tail, which is crazy. What was was that? He just sacrificed his monster? Mitsurugi, no. You can spell summon a card from your hand or treat one other reptile monster from your hand and one monster your opponent controls, but you cannot spell summon nor activate effects for the rest of this turn except reptile monster. Oh, I didn't even know they had this card. I didn't even seen that one before. Seem like Mitsurugi. I feel like Mitsurugi by itself is actually a really fun deck. Legit chain block more than anything else. I want to see it play with. I want to see what combos you can make with Dragon Maid. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, now as soon as I said it, now they pull it off. Okay. As soon as I said that, now they pull it off. Interesting. Oh shit, gotta deal with Nib. That's a lot of freaking attack points. Look at them. Look at that attacking defense. Holy crap. That's a lot. Dang, he can special summon and just add it back. They can finish him off. That's crazy. Man, that's crazy for real. But yeah, I guess that Dragon Maid, Draco. Even though I didn't get to be able to see the full combo, but still, Dragon Maid Draco is still good. So there's also another deck I want to talk about as well. Is if I can find, there we go. Like I said, I did say Labyrinth is the deck that you definitely gonna see. But you just want to see Labyrinth by itself. I think that track card, oh, that's actually Draco Maid. I'm trying to figure out a good Labyrinth track, a good Labyrinth deck that we might see. Here we go. So we'll see, like, we'll watch it. Well, hopefully I get Labyrinth. We'll watch Labyrinth versus Memento. Memento is a fun deck as well. It's hard to tell the pilot. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, Memento is definitely a hard deck to pilot. Like, anybody who can play that deck, man, just hats off to you. Okay, we facing a Memento guy. Well, seen a viewpoint from a Memento person. Well, it'll be all right. I wanted to do Labyrinth, but we'll go with that. We can literally sit there and see how people play Memento. Transition rollback. Yeah, transition rollback's a pain in the ass. Now he can use transition rollback again. Well, he just shut down Memento with that. That's crazy. Ash Blossom. Transition rollback. Use it again. Maxi. I mean, Memento really not gonna have any. Oh shit! He said all cards face down. This turn any monster sent to the graveyard is, what's it say? What was that try card? This turn any monster sent to the graveyard banished instead. Okay, that's very interesting. You guys, Toby Toad. Well, that hurts. That really hurts Memento because Memento needs the cards in the graveyard. So you have to run track cards that allow you to banish monsters. Cause I feel like that's the only way you're gonna sit there and I feel like that's the only way you're gonna sit there and beat Draco Tail or any of these decks, that you have to be able to banish cards. That's why I feel like Kashtira is definitely a deck that a lot of people gonna sit there and have to play. Damn, dude. And he about to banish this person extra deck, and he's just like literally just about to be a GG. Watch, and nothing he can do unless he activates Super Poly now. But I guess not. You gonna activate Super Poly? No. That's what I figured. He had no choice but to activate Super Poly. Then he just added that deck back. Man, that really hurt, but we'll see. We'll see how loud. Wow, well, that's hard to deal with. And he has transition rollback again. This is what I'm talking about, just how good Lab is, honestly, at the end of the day. Like, you really can't underestimate Lab. Like, Lab is such a good deck, which is crazy. All Chaos Angel. Damn, man. Lab Lab is, like I said, Lab is such a good deck, man. You cannot underestimate Labyrinth at all. Honestly, you really can't. Like I said, Lab is definitely a deck that you're gonna see in the Duelist Cup. That's for sure. So, like I said, those are most decks you're probably gonna see. Like I said, there's other decks as well that we're probably gonna look at. I just want to talk about other decks that we can sit there and build or just counter. Like I said, you always gonna see Orcus. You definitely gonna see Ryzel, Mitsurugi. You definitely gonna see Brandon. Definitely gonna see Loud. Definitely gonna see Blue Eyes. Um, U-Bell is actually a fun deck that you can actually go against. You can actually use. I'm gonna use U-Bell to see how it does against Draco Tail. Um, Definitely knowing this, this can't be used as a fusion material or anything else like that, and it's a thing. I think U-Bell is an underrated deck, especially came out the ban list. This is at 3 now. Um, this is at 3 now. Which one was it? I think this was at 3 now. So U-Bell is definitely a deck that's very underrated that you can really you see in the Duelist Cup. U-Bell, Fiendsmith, um, U-Bell Unchained is definitely a deck that you can play as well. So I definitely say if you have U-Bell, I'll definitely give it a try, because if you think about it, Draco Tail does destroy cards, and they pop your monster, you're actually doing them a favor. So honestly, at the end of the day, I definitely feel like U-Bell can actually be a fun deck to use in the Duelist Cup. So I definitely look at U-Bell. I also look at Fire King. Fire King is a good deck. Fire King is definitely an underrated deck. It's really good because at the end of the day, like, it is fire and your opponent can't use visuals against it and stuff like that. It does want to be destroyed by cards and stuff like that and everything else, especially how the field spell. You have this to summon. Your opponent spells summon a monster. You can sit there and banish it. If your opponent destroys the monster, you know, you got Kieran. You have this. So Fire King is very consistent. DDD Crow is something a lot of people should put in their decks, you know, especially if they want to banish the monster, like if they have the trap cards, or if they use Draco Tail, if they use him to sit there and replenish cards from the graveyard, you can use DD Crow to sit there and banish it. That actually comes in handy. So I think Fire King is definitely an underrated deck. It's really good. Retaliating Sea, just in case if Draco Tail uses that fusion spells fail with this, you can sit there and summon Retaliating Sea. All their cards get banished and stuff like that. So I definitely look at Fire King definitely be a good deck you can run against it. We just saw Memento, but Cash Tira, like I said, Cash Tira is definitely a deck that can honestly, you need to build in order to like counter Draco Tail. But the thing about it is that you need to summon a Rise Heart. I'm gonna redo my Cash Tira deck. I'm gonna fix it up. But you actually have to have a Rise Heart on the field, because I feel like if you don't have a Rise Heart on the field, then you know it's pretty much they can do what they want. So my first priority, honestly, is to get a Rise Heart on the field fast as I can, which I know would be difficult, but you can summon Unicorn. You know, they activate Unicorn's effect. They may have Effect Veiler and everything else, especially some of this and that. So that's definitely probably going to happen. You know, and if you're a Cash Tira user, I say Quiet Life. Definitely save this card. Activate this card to start in main phase 1 if you control no monsters, which you don't. If any player normal summons / sets a monster, that player cannot special summon that turn. If any player special summons a monster, that player cannot normal summon set that turn. This is actually pretty good to go in a Cash Tira deck, because Cash Tira does nothing but special summon. So honestly, you're okay, but if your opponent normal summons, then they can't special summon for the rest of the turn. It's actually a good floodgate card. I actually found this. I was like, you know what? This would go good in Cash Tira. Like, it really wouldn't. So I thought I'd put this in my deck. So if you play Cash Tira, I'll think about adding a Quiet Life. It's definitely a good card to add to your Cash Tira deck, that's for sure. But definitely Cash Tira is definitely a good deck. Also, I want to sit there and say, which one is it? Manage face down. I have to find that one link monster that's a machine that you need to go against to protect a Rise Heart. But I gotta make sure I find it. It is a link monster. Yeah, this one, and then was it this one? Yeah, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Use it as a combo. We use Pot of Desires. We use to banish this card, and we allow this card to sit there and attach it to a Rise Heart. Now you can still do it with the other pot. You got to banish 3 or 6 card random cards face down from your extra deck, but use I banish like 3, and you hope that you banish this one. You probably run more than 3 in your extra deck to increase the chance of you banishing, and then you can summon Rise Heart, equip this to Rise Heart. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So basically, you put a Rise Heart in defense mode because also they're gonna sit there and try to like any monster in attack mode, they can return it back to your hand. But if you have this on here, keep a Rise Heart in defense mode, and you pretty much protect it. So I would sit there and say honestly, to put this in your extra deck, I'll probably say like 3. And he do have that. Then he's running pot. Where is it at? Where's it at? Yeah, Pot of Desires. No, not that one. That's which other pot? Yeah, this one. At the start of your main phase, banish 3 or 6 random cards face down. So you hope that you can banish this face down, and then you can summon a Rise Heart, and then you can add this to it. So I think that's what you want. So it comes down to just random luck. So that's why I'm saying you have to add like 3 of those in your extra deck and see. Hopefully you banish it. If not, then you know it's pretty much to get this. Pretty much hard to get this card out, honestly. At the end of the day, but you just hope that you can do it, or you can find a way. If you can find some way to send this from your extra deck to the graveyard, this will come in handy. But that's actually a good combo you can use to protect your Rise Heart and stuff like that. But I think Cash Tira is definitely going to. What the hell these dogs barking at outside? I definitely feel like Cash Tira is definitely going to be it's definitely going to be a deck you're going to see a lot in the Duelist Cup, especially to counter Draco Tail. So I definitely be on the lookout for that. But Cash Tira is definitely a go-to deck that you can play. Like I said, this isn't my final build. I'm gonna delete this and actually rebuild Cash Tira from the ground up because I feel like I can. You know, we don't got called by our grade 1 now. I do have Ascending Thunder, you know, just especially someone level 7 monster. I do have Dino Wrestler, you know, sit there, you know, Force and Effect. You know, I also have Ghost Aura, Snow Rabbit. You know, it's just like I said, Fiend Smith and stuff like that. Like I said, Cash Tira definitely is a fun deck, especially going against Draco Tail. So, like I said, it's just Cash Tira definitely one deck I'd sit there and say people need to play and use. Other decks you might see is one of my favorite, the most ultra rare heavy thing I want to say is definitely Voice's Voice. Voice's Voice is definitely a fun deck. I love Voice's Voice. I was happy when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I'm glad I had to build it. I actually got like 2 royals from this thing. I wish I had this royal. I like if I could. There was any way I can make any card royal, it'd be this one. But Voice's Voice is definitely a good deck. This is actually comes in handy. Since you don't sit there and use your extra deck, really depend on it. Gordon Slicer is a good floodgate card. Well, a good board breaker. Sorry, not floodgate. Good board breaker. Your opponent can't target your Voice's Voice cards and stuff like that. I don't know. Draco Tail actually had card. Do their trap cards target a spell card? Target 1 attack position monster. Okay, they can't do that one. Target 1 face up spell. Well, they can target my. They can target one of these. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you have that. Target 1 monster or spell track and opponent graveyard banish them. So basically, they just banish our spell, but they can't target our monster with this as well. And also, this target, if 2 or more monsters in the group. Let me see. It can refuse in some. You can target monster. Yep, you can't target, so that's protection. What the? We have to make Draco Tail. You can target 1 card your opponent controls. Okay, so you can't use that on my monsters. I think this also does something. If the card's in the graveyard, you can set. Then negate the effects of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. I mean, that's fine at the end of the day. Well, I don't think they have anything else that the card sent to the graveyard can target 1 spell. Maybe that drew a card. So I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Voice of Voice can protect itself versus honestly against Draco Tail. Voice of Voice is a fun deck, honestly. And I also thought about using this as well. So I thought about crafting a Drake. I thought about crafting this, putting it in an extra deck, and then Ghost Reaper right here. Like if I go against Tenpai, I can sit there and use this, banish Tenpai. I can use Tenpai on Simple Dragon. Then at the end of the day, they can't do nothing. Or if I go against Fiend Smith, I can banish this, they can't do nothing. Or I can banish Tractor, they can't do nothing, you know, stuff like that. I can banish this. If I go against Tyrillman, I can banish this. If I go against Mirror Jade, I can banish it. I feel like Ghost Cherry is a really good deck, but Draco Tail, I thought I could use it, but not really, because Draco Tail just replenishes all that monster that's banished and had it back to their extra deck, so that's pretty much useless. But if you're not facing Draco Tail, Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is actually pretty good because, like I said, you can banish this if you're going to get some Blue Eyes. You know, everything else you can banish this if Ubel, Branded, Fiend Smith, Tillerman, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Fiend Smith. You're going against Promethean Princess. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can actually banish, but Voice is definitely a good fun deck to play. I think it's definitely a really strong deck. Like it's so strong, like you can't even use Voice in like any events. That's the crazy part about it. You can't use it in any events at all. Any events we have, Voice is banned. Brandon has been able to play. Everything else has been able to play except Voice, which is crazy. So Voice is definitely a good deck you can definitely take to the Duelist Cup. It's a fun deck. It's a really expensive deck. You got like what 100, 200. Let's see. We usually run two of these, but we got 300, 400, like stuff like that. So basically, like you need 400 ultra rare crafting points to build this deck. Honestly, that's if you literally just run like three of these. Awesome. Thank God this is super rare. 430 because you also need that. Like I said, might well say it. So basically 430 ultra rare crafting points to build a voice deck. Thank God you don't need an extra decks, but honestly, just to run this, like you need 430 ultra rare crafting points. So yeah, it's an expensive deck, but it's definitely a good one, that's for sure. Really, that's pretty much it I can think about. Then we can sit there and look at other cards. Like I said, you can honestly look at Malice. Malice is always gonna be top tier, regardless of what people say. I know it got hit, but it's still a top tier deck, honestly. Malice is always going to be good as long as they have that Nista cards, as long as they have Sonic Mining, as long as they have Allure Darkness, as long as we have Bishals. Like honestly, like I said, you run Bishals, Malice will always be top tier. Now it is susceptible to hand traps. Ash Blossom them the right way, and they will end that turn. We already saw that in the video before, but they're still like I said, still a tough deck to deal with. It's still a tough deck to beat. So I definitely be surprised. You definitely gonna see Malice, probably a lot of Malice in the second stage. I say you see a lot of Malice in the second stage, honestly. That's why I think you'll get him a lot. But like I said, Malice is still a top tier deck. It's still really good. It can still pop off full combo if you don't have the hand traps. It's like I said, it's just really good, honestly, at the end of the day. Not too much. Malice speak for itself. Like you already know how Malice is. But other than that, that's really not too many other there's not too many other decks that you would definitely see a lot. More than anything else. Like I think we pretty much went over the basics of what we're gonna see. I don't think there's any ritual. We saw Mitsurugi. Fusion, we saw like all the fusion cards, Dracos and everything else. XYZ, we saw all the XYZ cards we can only gonna see. We're gonna see Ryzel, we're gonna see Cashier a lot, stuff like that. Like I said, there's really not much. People may run Mass Law, Dark Hero. They're probably gonna run Mass Change, which actually isn't a bad combination. Like I said, Mass Change really doesn't require a specific require hero monster. Just target one hero monster you control or send it to gray after this on the field. So you just require like a dark hero monster, I guess. So target one hero monster you control. So what dark hero monster could we just normal summon and be okay with and everything else and still use Mass Change? So like I said, let me see what's something we could use. Heroes are definitely a fun deck as well. It's an expensive hell deck, but honestly, it's a really, like, how expensive is Hero? If Voice like 430, I wonder how expensive is Hero. So look, we already got that one. So that's like 100, 200. If I need 300, then how many ultra rares? 400, 1, 2, 3, 500. 530. You need 530 ultra rare crafting points to sit there and actually 560. I don't think I counted that one. 500 and actually 600. No, 590 because you need. Let me start over just to make sure. So 100. That's 200. 1, 2, 3. That's 300. That's 400. 1, 2, 3. 500. 1, 2, 3. 600. 1. So 630 ultra rare crafting points you need to build. You honestly need to build a hero deck, just a basic hero deck. That's how much it costs, which is crazy. Like I said, it's still a good deck. It's all gas, but definitely look at Mass Change. Mass Change can definitely come in handy. Any card sent to your opponent graveyard banished instead, but it requires you to have a dark hero monster on the field. That's the one thing that irritates me. You have to target hero monster you control, send it to the graveyard. After that, if it left the field by this effect, express on one mass hero from your extra deck. So you have to be a dark hero. So what dark hero, and you have to control it. So what dark hero do we have that we can honestly sit there and say like, okay, I saw which one requires us to do a normal summon, basically. Now we could run DPE. Call by the Grave is at 1. So we could run Fusion Destiny. We could send this one and which one was the other one? That's like it was like this one and let's see if I can find it. It's a Destiny Hero monster. I actually have a Destiny Hero deck. Destiny Hero deck needs some more support, man. Hopefully they get something. Hopefully they get something new down the line. But Destiny Hero is actually a really fun deck. It just really sucks that it's just like got out crept. If I can find it, one, yeah, this one, Destiny Hero Dasher. So basically, you run like 2 of these, and then you run like 1 of these. Then you use like honestly like Fusion Destiny. Then you sit there and have like you can summon Phoenix Destroyer and stuff like that, or you can sit there and like send 1 of these to the graveyard, special summon another one, use Mass Change, and then you can sit there and summon Mass Hero Dark Law. But like I said, it goes through a lot of trouble to do it. But definitely you can look at that as well. But Mass Law definitely is a good Mass Hero Dark Law deck. Oh, that also reminds me another card you can use. Since Draco Tail Light to destroy spell and trap cards, you know one thing that you can use is this, Waken a Dragon. Since you can sit there and trick them and be like, okay, Draco Tail Light to destroy my magic and trap cards. Okay, cool. I always play Waken a Dragon. So if they destroy Waken a Dragon, you can special summon any monsters from your deck or extra deck. So basically, if they did do it, you can summon Dark Law, and then that's a good way to pull it out. Instead, you actually have to run hero monsters in, you know, do your deck and everything else. So you can just sit there and trick them by using Awakening Dragon. You can summon Dark Law. Like I said, there's a variety of ways you can do it, a variety of ways of tricks and stuff like that. Like I said, also you can sit there. You want to Trickstar Reincarnation. You can sit there and pull this as well, but I don't think it's gonna stop Draco Tail. This won't stop Draco Tail because Draco Tail literally, if you go first, it's really hard to stop Draco Tail. Just plain and simple. And there's not really too much you can do to stop Draco Tail. If you look at it, I mean, we can look at the hand traps that we can play, but like what can we do? Yes, we can play Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion. I feel like that's good against Draco Tail. Ghost Orb, I don't know. You can play Kurakara. They will activate on it will activate its effect, so you can tribute, summon it, but they can add the cards right back from the hand. Like they can activate Maxi, use Draco Tail, bring back Maxi. So like I said, Draco Tail is definitely a pain. Especially you could use Effect Veiler, but you only can do it on your opponent's turn, which is tough. I think for myself is where is it at? This is something I definitely think you can run against Draco Tail if I can find it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Man, I can find this. Search through it. Let's go, Monster. Let me see. I'm gonna find it. I'm not finished it off. Skull. Yeah, here we go. I want to run Skullmeister. When a card effect is activating your opponent's graveyard, quick effect, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard and negate that effect. Skullmeister is definitely a card you can use against Draco Tail, especially when they fusion summon and stuff like that. You can negate their effects and everything. I don't know if they're going to chain block it, but at the same time, you can still use Skullmeister. Other cards you can use against it is also DD Crow. I think it's really underrated. I think a lot of people need to put this in their deck. DDD Crow is actually really good. Quick effect, can discard this card from graveyard. So basically, you know, if he try to bring card back from the graveyard, you can sit there and banish it. That's also a good card you can do. So you look at that as well. Shifter. You can also play Dimension Shifter as well. Dimension Shifter definitely come in handy. It sucks it's at 1, but I understand it because of 10-ply Floodgate. But Dimension Shifter is also something you can look at. And also, what's the word I'm looking for? Exo. And also another deck I thought you can probably play against Draco Tail is Exo Sister. because they basically have to move cards out from their graveyard to back to the hand, and that's what Exo Sister definitely uses. Like, what needs to sit there and pop off. So I wouldn't be surprised. Exo Sister definitely is something, a lot of people can definitely play against Draco Tail and everything else, because the only thing it activates when your opponent, if your opponent moves cards out of either graveyard, you can special summon from your extra deck one XYZ summon monster. If the card is XYZ summoned by using extra system monster material, you can target one card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, banish it. It's a quick effect. Like, honestly, Exo Sister is definitely something you can also look at playing against Draco Tail. I have to try it out. Can't be destroyed by activated fake monster, special summon from the graveyard. It still wouldn't make sense, but if the card XYZ summons extra some material, neither player can activate cards or infect in the graveyard this turn. So I mean, like I said, I don't know how good it would be, but it's definitely a deck that you can definitely see if it's good against Draco Tail. So and Exo Sister is getting new support also. That's gonna be a while until we get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but Exo Sister is definitely a deck you can look at. I'll try against Draco Tail. So you have your friends just like, hey, you got Draco Tail? All right, let me just sit there and run Exo Sister against you and see. Because you have to understand the way Draco Tail is. So basically, they want fusion summon during the main phase, but they want to make sure that you have a card on the field so you can't use infinite permanents on this card. So basically, they're gonna wait until you actually have a card on the field before they activates effect in the hand for their fusion summon in the hand. So if I honestly have Exo Sister, if I have an Exo Sister monster on the field, then it will allow me to sit there and summon any of these Exo Sister cards or whatever the case may be. So you literally can special on Exo Sister and then sit there and just like pick what you want to pick. So I think Exo Sister definitely could be something that can counter Draco Tail, but we have to see. I don't know if it'll be good or not. It's just a thought. But other than that, like, we just really look at mostly everything. A lot of people also trying to run trap cards against Draco Tail, which I don't know if it actually will work, because like trap cards are good, but at the same time it's like really slow. And Draco Tail can just go. Draco Tail can fusion summon regardless of what turn it is. I'm trying to figure out. Let me find out which one it is. And plus, they have the trap card that can just negate your spell or traps on this and that type of stuff like that. So it's definitely a pain, but it's a graveyard. I think the best thing to beat Draco Tail is that you have to banish cards from that graveyard. You just have to. If you don't, then it's just gonna be a pain, honestly, at the end of the day. I'm trying to find that one trap card a lot of people using. I remember Lightshaver from they duel with Yugi and Kaiba at the Battle City Finals. That shit was so funny. That's why I'm surprised they actually turned it into an actual card. This one, Soul Drain, activate by paying 1,000 life points. Monsters that are banished are as well. Monsters in their graveyard cannot activate their effects. So stuff like that. I think there was one where you can negate opponent's monster effects in the hand. I think that was a continuous trap card. Like, neither player can activate monster effects in the hand, if I'm not mistaken. All face up unaffected by own trap card. No, but they definitely have a trap card where you can negate your opponent's monster effects in the hand. I just can't remember which one it was. Let me see. Was it this one? Neither player can add cards from the deck to the hand except by drawing them. That's actually not good at all. They have that trap card. I know they do. I've seen it before. I just can't remember which one it is. But it's a trap card that stops your opponent from activating monster cards effects in their hands. But yeah, so a lot of people are trying to run Soul Drain. I don't think that's really good. That's going to help out. But everything else, you can't play rival Lords. Each player can only control one type of monster, sending all other face-up monsters they control the graveyard. Draco Tail is like, they do have Dragon and Spellcaster. So honestly, when you look at it, I don't know which one is this one. This is Spellcaster, this is Dragon. So if you do play rival Warlords, they literally have to pick one. They can't have both of these on the field. So at the end of the day, but like I said, you still got the trap cards. Target one face-up spell, target one monster or one spell trap card opponent. Well, it's on the graveyard, so they really don't have anything, honestly, to sit there and well, I think one of these do it, right? It's card you can set one Draco Tail. No, it's one of these destroy magic and trap cards, if I'm not mistaken. You can target one spell Draco Tail. One of these does it. But anyway, yeah, so basically, like I said, it's just a variety of ways and cards that you can use to sit there and go against Draco Tail. Like I said, we're gonna see Draco Tail a lot, but I definitely feel like the one deck you can definitely use against Draco Tail is Castera. But like I said, you have to get a Rise Heart on the field. You have to get a Rise Heart on the field early. You just have to. If you don't get a Rise Heart on the field early, then it's just going to be difficult to stop Draco Tail. But Castera definitely a deck that you can definitely use against Draco Tail early. So I'll definitely say if you have Castera, go ahead and dust it off and bring it out. I mean, it's okay. Like I said, you can fix it and everything else, but definitely look at it. I would definitely say, hey, play Castera, man. Like nothing wrong with it, especially going against Draco Tail. You got to banish your opponent's monster and everything else. So other than that, like I said, that you can try. Like I said, you can try Ubel. I think Ubel's a fun deck against Draco Tail. Cause they like to be destroyed. You can't sleep on Labyrinth. I have Archmage. Like I said, Ryzel Mitsurugi, but even though it gets killed by Joel and Lockbird, that's a problem. You also have Orcus, Orcus Mitsurugi, regular Orcus, whatever case may be. Orcus is still a fun deck. Like I said, Draco Tail is just gonna be a problem, honestly, at the end of the day. I mean, that's just what it is, honestly, at the end. So it's just like I said, it's a lot better than Malice, that's for sure. But other than that, honestly, it's just like the Duelist Cup is tomorrow, and it's just something you're gonna see a lot. So just something we just have to look forward to. So hopefully I gave y'all some hints, or y'all can see some cards that you can use against Draco Tail. If you know some, definitely let me know. But like I said, most of the thing I can honestly think about is just you have to banish cards from the graveyard. You have to run DD Crow, Shifter. Like, it's a really tough deck to go against, that's for sure. And not too many cards we have in the game to honestly sit there and shut down Draco Tail. I mean, we can't sit there unless we have to have them, unless we have infinite permanents, then they're gonna wait till we play cards, so we can't play infinite permanents. So you look at that, we can't play Effect Veiler because at the end of the day, Effect Veiler only works on my opponent's turn. So when you just think about it, it's just really hard. And not only that, they just activate cards from the graveyard. So I mean, you could play Silent Graveyard, discard one card, effects that activate in a graveyard is turned on negated. I mean, that could actually come in handy, but at the same time, it still won't stop. It still won't stop this card because at the end of the day, he can still just refurbish all. If he discard Max C, he discard Ash Blossom, he can just turn around and just bring it right back to his hand. I mean, but you can negate, if he activate other trap cards, stuff like that, he can do that. So Sonic Graveyard is actually a good card you can actually run too as well. Discard one card, effect activate in the graveyard to turn negated. That actually could come in handy. So you can also look at that. Dimension Barrier, but like I said, at the end of the day, it just sucks that Draco Tail can fusion something during your turn. If it was doing their turn, then I think it would be but since it's my turn, it's pretty much and he can return my monster that I have on the field back to my hand. It's target wise. I just feel like it's just it's just really annoying, really, to go against Draco Tail. But like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But yeah, so Draco Tail definitely gonna be a top tier deck that we're gonna see a lot. I mean, that's just what it is. We're still gonna see Ryzel Mitsurugi. We're still gonna see Labyrinth. I'm still gonna be playing Archmage, honestly, at the end of the day, which hopefully Archmage does good, but it gets hit by Joel and Lockbird, it's pretty much over with, honestly. I'm not gonna build Draco Tail. I'm really not. That's not my thing. I might build Yummy. Yummy's a deck that I might build next month. I do have a Man with the Mark. I might build a Man with the Mark deck. Like I said, the Man with the Mark has a variety of deck types you can build. You can build with Primite and stuff like that, Dominance Purge and everything else. But I might build a Man with the Mark. I don't know, depending on how I feel. But definitely, I just want to see what we're gonna get next month. I know we're getting Yummy, but we may get the new Vanquish Soul support, or they may wait till February to give us a new Vanquish Soul cards. So that'd be very interesting to see. But I definitely know, for one, I'm definitely taking Archmage. I'm definitely taking Archmage with me to the Duelist Cup. I still have to work on it. It's at 45. I just want to really bring this down to 40. Retaliating Seed is also a card that you can use in the Duelist Cup, so I definitely look at Retaliating Seed, adding that, especially if you go against White Forest. White Forest is just shut down White Forest really, really quick and everything else. But other than that, you're probably gonna see, because the Duelist Cup is tomorrow, So you're probably gonna see me run Art Mage. I am going to try. I am going to run Orcus. Um, I am going to run Voices Voice. Like I said, Voices Voice is a fun deck. I'm going to definitely run that. I don't know about Goblin Biker. I feel like Goblin Biker is a fun deck. They can definitely use against a lot of decks, like you can catch them off guard and stuff like that. I think Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion, you definitely need 3 of those. Um, Goblin Biker may be something I run. Fire King is definitely a deck I can definitely see myself running. Fire King is definitely a good deck. If my opponent really gonna got like you can't use bishops up on it and stuff like that. Fire King is definitely a very, very consistent, stubborn deck. Draco Tail loves to just target and destroy cards, so definitely that's what Fire King wants. They want you to destroy it so they can sit there, activate Grunix, and then you can sit there and do Karen. I might fix this deck so I can play so I can sit there and play I can sit there and play Fire King, honestly, in a Duelist Cup. Cause I think Fire King is a really fun deck, honestly, especially your Krunix, like everything else. And honestly, that's one deck I really want to run that I really like. Is I've been trying to fix a good Runic deck. I like Runic. Runic is definitely one of my favorite decks, honestly. Um, it's irritating that the field spell is at 1. That's one thing I don't like. Is the field spell is at 1. And I feel like with so many ways, negates and destruction, we need this at 2. But at the same time, watch. I'm gonna tell the computer to build me a Runic deck, and you see what they build me, and you will see why. It's Floodgate. You literally tell the computer, "Hey, can you build me a deck, a Runic deck?" And you will see Floodgate, Floodgate, Floodgate. One day at peace. I don't know. Floodgate, 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 Floodgate. Basically, like it seems like that's the only way you can play Runic is by Floodgate, and like this is why the Runic field spell probably never go to 2 or 3 because of, and I feel like it's just not fair because of Floodgates. Runic is a fun deck, but it just really sucks that you know, the only way to actually play this card is by using Floodgates. Like, computer even knows the best way to build a Runic deck is Floodgates. Look at this. Also, any monster sent to the graveyard banished instead. You can actually play Dimensional Fissure as well. That's actually a really good spell card you can play, honestly. So shout out to the computer. Dimension Fissure is definitely something you can play. If you start your turn, you can set that, play that, and your opponent gonna sit there. Every monster you send to the graveyard is banished, but you have to worry about your own monsters, which sucks. But other than that, that's actually a good card to use against Draco Tail. So I didn't even think about it. Dimensional Fissure definitely something you can play. So I definitely, but like I said, it's any monster sent to the graveyard, so you have to worry about yourself as well. So that's something not to worry about, Dimensional Fissure. So yeah, I definitely look at Dimensional Fissure as well. It's a spell card, not a trap. So it's definitely something you can honestly look at. But yeah, anyway, like I said, we want to build a Runic deck. That's basically have to run Floodgate. I don't want to build a Floodgate Runic deck. One day I'm gonna build a good Runic deck. I just don't know how, but I'm gonna build a good Runic deck one. I have to like do a theory. I have to make a video. I'm probably gonna live stream again trying to build Runic. Just make Runic good without using Floodgates, which is really hard because like I said, this is a big red button. Just like Effect Veiler, Infinite Permanent Ash Blossom, like just different. If they could make Runic Tip 3, that would help out a lot as well. If they could make Runic Tip 3, I would sit there and say that would help. But other than that, like I said, Runic is definitely one of my favorite decks. I definitely want to run. Hopefully one day this can go to 2. I think they'll be fair. You don't have to make it 3, but you can make it 2, like honestly. And you look at Runic and also another deck I haven't seen in a while. I'm pretty sure y'all haven't seen in a while also. It's Tearlaments. Trying to figure out, will we see Tearlaments in the Duelist Cup? Tearlaments have been very, very, very quiet lately. Like, I haven't seen a Tearlament deck in a long time, honestly. And I remember Tier used to be top tier. You know, everybody hated, especially with the Seiju cards and everything else. But I haven't seen Tearlament a lot at all. So I'm definitely curious to see if there's anybody out there that's gonna run a Tearlament deck in a Duelist Cup. But I don't know if they will or not, which would be very interesting. But Tillman's definitely a fun deck as well, but you know you have to worry about Bishuls and stuff like that. But Tillman's definitely an underrated deck. It's definitely a fun deck. So I'm definitely curious to see if anybody would sit there and run a Tillerman deck in a Duelist Cup. But like I said, more than anything else, most of all the decks we probably gonna see in the Duelist Cup. I'm excited. I'm excited for it and everything else. I know it's gonna be fun. The best, I don't want to say the best, but it's the most like diverse Duelist Cup we had in a while. So, you know, it's not going to be dominated by Malice. You know, you're going to see a variety of other decks as well, that's what you want when it comes to the Duelist Cup and Yu-Gi-Oh! You want diversity. You want to be able to log on and not see the same deck 10 games in a row. Like, you want to see different decks play. You want to see, you know, a little bit of Draco Tail, you know, a little bit of Ryzel, Mitsurugi, a little bit of Orcus, you know, just a variety of stuff, like a little bit of Labyrinth, you know, sprinkle a little bit of Memento, you know, stuff like that, sprinkle a little bit of Kashtira, you know, just variety of decks that you just want in the game. Like, that's what you want. You just want to see a variety of stuff. And I feel like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely in that position where we're going to be able to just see, you know, different variety of decks in the Duelist Cup. So I'm definitely excited about it. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to get to the second stage. That's my goal this year. Before the year end, I'm gonna try my best to get to the second stage. I never got to the second stage before, so I'm gonna do my best to get to the second stage this year. Because in January 1st, I'm gonna actually play ranked for the very first time. So I'm definitely excited about it. Honestly, at the end of the day, I definitely think we're gonna have this Duelist Cup definitely gonna be fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. More than anything else. But like I said, Fire King is definitely a deck you can definitely take in a Duelist Cup because it's just so persistent. And like honestly, it's just like honestly, it's just like so much you can do with it or whatever. You can't use Bishops against it. You know, they can't use Lock You Out, Dragon, or anything else. Like, it's just a variety of stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and beat this computer right quick. I'm pretty sure there's infinite permanents. What card I want to add to my hand? Special on free deck. More than anything else. So we're just gonna go ahead and beat this computer. Like I said, I'm gonna play Art Mage. Art Mage is definitely a deck I'm gonna be running in the Duelist Cup, that's for sure. So definitely be on the lookout. I know it's not good right now, but it can definitely get, it's still missing support, but more than anything else, but I definitely feel like it's definitely a good deck. Art Mage can pop off. You still have to worry about Nibiru and stuff like that as well. Wow, computer actually got brains. Ain't that something? Actually made a big, oh. Computer actually smart. I don't know if they actually increasing computer. That's actually crazy. But then I can't summon at the end of the day, like constantly. I'm actually shocked the computer made a big brain play like that. That's crazy. That's well okay. Like I say, Art Mage is a fun deck. It's a good deck and everything else. You destroy this card, whatever the case may be. Well, which is fine. That's not what I'm paying attention to. Cause I needed a field spell in my hand, honestly, at the end of the day. Now I can summon another Art Mage monster more than anything else in my hand. So I'm gonna add the field spell. I say Art Mage is a fun deck, honestly. Set a card. Well, I'm gonna set down. Activate that. This how you effect card set Art Mage. Which one I want to add next to be honestly at the end of the day? I could summon her again, which makes it more difficult to negate their effects. Yeah, I think I will. Now I can special summon her in attack mode. Now I get a draw card, draw another Drolling Lockbird for some odd strange reason. I'll need two of them. Return that one to my hand. I can special summon meteors. All right, let's see. Let's see. So we'll go with that. Sit there negates effect more than anything else. Like I said, Art Mage is really a fun deck, man. Once you're able to pop off with it and stuff like that. Now I can summon this one. Like I said, another spell from my deck to my hand, which would be that one. Now I could negate its effect, but like I said, if that destroyed, and that's if a card destroyed, then I can't do that and negate that effect. Destroy that one. Like I said, Art Mage is a really fun deck. Like I said, this is a deck that I'm gonna take to the Duelist Cup. Or anything else. Negate its effect. Destroy it. Oh, that's right. Protect itself. Ain't that something funny? Now I can banish my spell card. Can't be destroyed by battle. Oh, actually, just in your turn. Draw a card. Like I said, it's definitely. Cause attack. So basically, I can sit there and destroy it, which I'm going to. So I can banish the track card. Return this back to my hand. Destroy that. Activates effect, which allows me to summon this. Draw a card from my deck. So like I said, I have a variety of things. I can discard a spell card. Discard that one. Add that one. Activates effect, which is this one. Add a card from my graveyard to my hand, which would be that one. Now I can summon this one, and this one. Then activates effect, which allows me to sit there and add this one to my hand. Then we can sit there and just go into the battle phase, and I can finish them off. Activates effect. If I say Art Mage is definitely a fun deck, I'm just gonna take to the Duelist Cup. Attack a life point directly and finish him off. Like I said, Fire King's a really good deck, but as you can see, I kind of like stuck it down or whatever the case may be. So yeah. So anyway, like I said, easy win. But like I said, I just wanted to make this video. Show you the cards that you can use against Art Mage, or not Art Mage. Use cards you can use against Draco Tail. Hopefully, you can find some cards and use out of and everything else. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Like I said, it's gonna go up on the next day. And so y'all probably won't see this until the day of the Duelist Cup. But good luck to y'all. Hopefully I see y'all. I'm gonna live stream tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'm gonna set a reminder on my channel. Definitely come by, watch me grind. I'm gonna go out through stages. I'm gonna try to get to stage 2. I am gonna play Art Mage. Now, before I play, I'm probably gonna sit there and like kind of fix Archmage and like to knock it down. You know, there's gonna be a lot of trials and tribulation with this deck, but hopefully, like I said, we can build a good deck and we can find some way to play and go from there. But anyway, I'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.